Let's get started with the tutorial. I've already done my skincare and washed my face, so now we are going into the correcting portion of the makeup. We are going to start with Bobbi Brown's Corrector in Bisque. So just a little bit on your ring finger and then tapping that underneath the eye. Because we are doing more of an ingenue look, we need to make sure that the skin is nice and clean. And also when I think of Ophelia, I think of her as being on the younger side. So she definitely wouldn't have any discoloration, and I think even in her mad portion of the play, I think something really interesting to do would be to have her still look ingenue instead of crazy, and that would make it more disturbing in a way. So now we're going to go in with our NARS primer on also some ring fingers and just canceling out any discoloration on the lids or any little veins that are kind of popping through. This is also a great way to actually prime your lids. It helps powder shadows stick, and because we're not using conventional powders today, I think priming is a really good idea. We will be using blush as our eyeshadow, and sometimes when things aren't formulated specifically for the eye, you don't know exactly how well they're going to last. So putting a primer down is a great way to go. I am going to go in with the Rock and Kohl by Charlotte Tilbury because if Hamlet, the Prince of Denmark, is into you, you probably look kind of gorgeous. So especially since they kind of fell for each other before all this craziness with the royalty happened. So you probably have a thick lash line. A thick lash line also embodies youthfulness, beauty, and fertility as well. It also symbolizes pureness, that you haven't had any children or any kind of an adult relationship, shall we say. Okay, we are done priming the skin, we are done correcting, so now we get to move on. Because I am going to be using blush as my eyeshadow, nothing crazy is happening with this look, so we are going to go in with complexion. I'm going to go first with concealer. So just doing a really gentle, almost like a fan shape underneath the eyes. You could say that it's a triangle as well, but I don't want to I don't want to really sculpt my face. This is supposed to be really soft and easy makeup. Just something really nice and light. Even though we are doing Ophelia, it doesn't have to be Ophelia. You know what I mean? Like, it can just be an everyday, really pretty makeup look. So instead of doing those kind of geometric shapes, I think doing something a little bit softer with a rounded edge works a little bit better. Now going in with foundation, so just dotting, and I am going to use my duo fiber brush for this as well, because we are going for that kind of youthful look, so we don't want too much foundation on the skin. And just really quickly kind of blending that out, working in small sections, and then I'll go in again with my fingers and make sure that everything is blended together. Again, when you're using your duo fiber brush, you need to make sure that your skin is really nice and hydrated, because the duo fiber isn't really going to move the foundation that much. It's just kind of blending out and making it nice and soft. So if your skin isn't hydrated enough to give it a little bit of a slip, you're definitely going to get quite a bit of tug, and you're not going to be able to blend out your foundation. So just a little bit on the forehead and blending that out. I don't need coverage on my forehead. It's really just to make sure that everything is nice and even with the rest of the face. If you do need a lot of coverage on the forehead, then just be very careful, because that is definitely where we show aging kind of first, but it's also where we show a lot of expression. And wherever we show expression is a good place where makeup can kind of get stuck. Okay. Taking whatever's left on my hand and just bringing that down on the neck. If I was doing this for film, I'd be using a different brush, and I definitely hit the ears as well, just not kind of knowing what the actress would be being asked to do physically, and also I would want to give her options of, you know, putting her hair behind her ear and things like that. But because we're just doing this kind of as a book talk slash also very minimal pretty makeup, it's okay to not get too crazy about all of the details. However, you can take your fingers and just really lightly kind of use your fingers as like a finishing brush and making sure that there's nothing extra hanging out on the skin. I do find that with my duo fiber especially, it's a really good idea to just do that with your fingers. And then I have a towel down here, so I'm just kind of wiping my fingers off. Now we're going to go in with a little bit of Lisa Eldridge's highlighter. Whenever we want a youthful glow, a highlighter is a great way to get that, especially the one from Lisa Eldridge, because it's not glittery. It is actually just really nice and glowy. You can kind of see as I move my face around, it's catching the light a little bit, and just right here on that bone. We don't want to look sweaty. We don't want to look unnaturally glowy. We just want to have a little bit of that youthful glow that we all want. Okay, so now we are ready to move on to more of the details. So I'm going to take my 201 brush and I'm going to start using this darker color. So this is Pillow Talk from Charlotte Tilbury, and I'm just going to go around and around. And just like I would with a regular eyeshadow, start on the outer third and then build that up into the crease, any excess. The nice thing about using a blush as your eyeshadow is that everything is going to be really nice and cohesive. So we're actually not going to use this as our blush, but we're using kind of a blushy color, so that's my reasoning behind it. Doing the same thing on the other side, starting on that outer part of the eye, sweeping in, and then going up into that socket, and then doing nice big circles and just softening everything. So this is a great color, right? It's just really natural. It gives you just a nice wash of color. I'm going to go in with a 217 with the exact same thing, and I'm just going to amp it up just a little bit. Same thing on the other side. Okay, and then I'm going to go back in with the 207 and again just do some circles. Make sure everything is nice and soft. And then with just a little bit of that blush on my 217, go under the eye. Just so we have that nice cohesive look on the bottom and on the top. Now I'm going to take my 203 from BK Beauty and I'm going to go in with that center color, which is much lighter. And I'm going to place a little bit on the ball of my eye. And I'm going to place that on that inner corner. And again, just give a little bit of a glow. So very youthful, very happy, nothing too crazy, right? Before we continue with the eyes, I want to make sure that my brows are balancing everything out. Youthful brows are filled in, they are luscious, they're gorgeous, they haven't started like losing any of their color. So I'm just going to tap into my regular brow colors and fill in maybe just a little bit more than I normally would. because we are going for that youthful vibe. So really focusing Brun from about the arch back, and then adding a little bit more of that sandstone the closer we get to the center of the face. Same thing on the other side with my Sigma angled brush. Adding in a little bit of that sandstone, and then we will be taking a step back and just making sure that everything is looking nice and balanced. So that looks really good. Maybe just adding in a touch more over here and a touch more on the bottom. Great. So now we're going to go in with the liner. I'm going to use my pencil brush, and I am going to go back into Brun. And we're going to do a really soft liner. So again, nice lash line. Just says youthfulness. It says vitality. It says fertility. And when Hamlet speaks to Ophelia, he's usually, even though he's pretending to be mad, he's usually saying some pretty intimate things. So I have to believe that she would be just so beautiful. And when he finds out that he loses her, he is just devastated. So I think she deserves a nice full lash line. But she is supposed to be on the more innocent side. So we don't want to go with a liquid liner. That doesn't make any sense. Okay, now we are going to go in with our mascaras and definitely primer to make sure that, again, our lashes look really thick and full and youthful. So starting at the roots and then just twisting the brush and then doing some nice wiggles, coating so that you can see the primer on the actual lashes, but not so much that it becomes white itself. The nice thing about these Charlotte Tilbury blushes is that they have a little bit of sheen to them. So it's very nice on the skin. Anytime you work with more matte colors, if you have any fine lines or any texture on the skin, it really shows up. So now we are going in with Bobbi Brown's Smokey Eye Mascara. And again, really focusing on the roots and then wiggling up. Because we do want that really lush lash line. So you can just see like what a huge difference from one to the other. Doing the same thing on the other side, getting right into the roots. I really like this mascara, not only because it stays on forever, but it's not a waterproof, but also because it almost gives like a charcoal vibe. It's a black, but it's not a black. I think there's a little bit of gray in there to make it a little bit on the friendlier side, a little bit less on the, these aren't my actual lashes kind of a vibe. So I'm really happy with this. We are now going to set with a little bit of powder using my precision powder brush in the Bobbi Brown Pale Yellow powder, and trying not to get rid of any of that youthful glow that we have, but also not wanting to look oily. And then we are going to go in with a lipstick from Lisa Eldridge. This is Rosy Shell, and I'm going to take a little bit on my finger, and we're going to use this as our blush. I feel like anytime you can use a cream, again, it's just a little bit more youthful. And just right on the bone, just doing bigger and bigger circles. This is a really great way to make sure that your lips and your cheeks match. However, sometimes I find, depending on the formulation, that a lipstick does not last as long as a powder. Okay, so now we just have that really nice rosy glow. I'm going to go in with Charm Gloss on my actual lips. And then I think we do need a little bit of bronzer, just again for that youthful vibe, but not so much that it looks like we've been out in the sun, because that's not really true to the character of Ophelia. She is a courtier's daughter. She would not be hanging out in the sun, but maybe just a touch of that youthful glow, which can definitely be given by bronzer. So just a little bit, and just sweeping that into the blush. Okay, and that is the tutorial. Thank you guys so much for watching this Book Talk inspired makeup look. I think this is great beyond the Ophelia aspect of it. I think it's also really great for every day. It's a beautiful spring look. It's also a great summer look as well because of all the brighter pinks. You can of course amp this look up if you want to with liquid liner, or going in with the lipstick underneath, and that would give you more of a baby doll pink lipstick or a bubblegum pink lipstick. So thank you again for watching. I do fashion videos every Wednesday, beauty videos every Friday, and on Mondays tackling very specific things to keep your life a little bit more simple and a little bit more enjoyable. So thank you again for watching. Hit that thumbs up and hit the subscribe, and I will see you very soon. Bye!